The information provided in this podcast is for general knowledge and informational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional for diagnosis and treatment of any medical condition. The views and opinions expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Unplugged Healthcast or Dr. Wall.
This isn't a geriatric sport, although if you're older, get out there at any age. I have seen and I have been beaten by 90-year-old men. I've been beaten by a gentleman who had a variation of cerebral palsy. Yep. I just got my hind end handed to me last week with a guy who had literally one arm, and had a congenital defect in his other hand. And this guy was unbelievable. I'm telling you, age, size, gender, weight, they dynamically stretched, and then they beat me back.
Neck pain, backaches, headaches, fatigue, the list goes on, and you're likely on it. Tired of the broken system and big pharma? We offer logical solutions, teach you to think critically, and empower you to reclaim your health. Welcome to the Unplugged Healthcast with Dr. Kevin Wall.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unplugged Healthcast. It is time to wake up. This is your host, Dr. Kevin Wall, and I am excited to have you back tuning in. We have a fun show for you today, a pretty cool topic. We are talking pickleball, one of the hottest sports out there today. But before we do that, I just have to remind you and review briefly why this podcast exists and why you would want to tune in and maybe share it to other people. We are in an epidemic of chronic illness, if you haven't noticed. We are over-medicated to the hilt. Big Pharma is killing it. And honestly, we need some clarity. We need some answers. So the good news is that we are here to help you see clearly. We are unplugging you from the matrix. Stop taking the blue pill. No, I'm not Keanu Reeves, but I am going to play him today. It is time to wake up. We've been talking about a variation of topics from depression, anxiety, to headaches, to back problems, to just health topics. And that's the reason this podcast exists, is that we can actually try to shed light and bring clarity to some of this confusion that's going on around us. So I'm excited to have you here. Movement is life. That if you don't use it, you will lose it. It is an old saying, but it is truly applicable to your health. Your joints, the disc, the cartilage, the tendons and ligaments in your body are what is termed avascular tissue. And avascular means it does not have a blood supply. And if you ask yourself, what does blood supply do? You would know that it brings oxygen, it brings nutrients, it takes carbon dioxide and toxins in and out of your body for the vitality and health of every tissue. So if it doesn't have a blood supply, you have to wonder, how does your meniscus, how do your tendons, how does the disc in your back or the ligaments in your neck, how do they get oxygen and nutrients? And the answer is movement. It is the way that it actually circulates what's called the synovial fluid, which has the nutrients and oxygen in it, to your body. And if you're not moving, you are going to be deteriorating. And that really is the precursor, if not the reason, for arthritis. Arthritis is not genetic. If someone's told you you're arthritic because your dad was arthritic, I can tell you it's probably you're arthritic because maybe you're sitting on the couch like your dad was sitting on the couch. I'm telling you, get off the couch. We got to get moving. Here's a fact that's just concerning. The average American spends 17 minutes a day exercising. What? That seems like a lot maybe to some of you, and that's the problem. That is so little. It is not enough. We've got to be active. We've got to be exercising. I can tell you, we had a phenomenal psychologist. You want to go back and listen to our podcast on anxiety. And he talked about the rhythms of life, and that you need to get out in green spaces and be active and mobile. That's just one of the things that'll help anxiety, and it surely will help your joints. In fact, it just is the reason that we're talking about pickleball today. But what a great way to get out in a green space, in a park, in a place where air is sun is, oxygen, wind, and just have fun and be active. Health-wise, it is found that if you play racket or paddle sports, you actually, if you're a female, you live almost 3 years longer. If you're a male, you live almost 6 years longer. So if you're looking for a reason to tell your honey that you're going out to play pickleball, you say it's just because you want to live longer. It also stimulates what's called a hippocampus in your brain, which actually is good for memory. So it's actually proven to help things, memory loss, and even stages of dementia. Pickle and paddle sports. There are 36 million people playing pickleball today. And you think, well, that's a lot. Yeah, but let me give you a reference point. There's only 20 million playing tennis. There's only 30 million people playing basketball. The only sport that I'm aware of that's actually more active to the average U.S. citizen is golf. And if you look at pickleball over the last 3 years, it has increased 223%. And it's supposed to, if you look around at all the pickleball opportunities, the parks, the facilities opening up, if it keeps growing at the rate that it is, which I think it will, honestly, because it's the perfect sport for everybody, it will overcome golf in the next couple of years. But it's just a lot of fun. So if we can, I'm going to bring in my guest today, my guest host, and her name is Lacey Burt. And Lacey, would you say hi to the crowd?
Hi, crowd. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in today. We're excited to have you. And so let me give you a little background, and then she can fill in the blanks, because I'm sure I probably will miss a few. You have been playing pickleball for a while, but you have been teaching. You have been playing competitive as a singles and a doubles player. I'm not sure where people play, because I think there's PP, there's an association, right? What is it called?
PPA.
The PPA, Pickleball Players
Professional.
There you go. All right. So you have played in those things. You have taught. You're a certified instructor in, it's called Dynamite Doubles. Can you maybe fill us in? What's Dynamite Doubles?
So Dynamite Doubles is basically teaching double strategy to teach you. Pickleball is a team sport. That's the other thing that's so cool about it, and why it brings such a community. But you got to learn to play as a team. So Dynamite Doubles basically teaches you team strategy.
Pickleball is one of the most social things you'll ever do if you ever play sports. Also, if you just go to a park and you think you're the one out, it doesn't matter. They'll soon find you and you will be in. They are the most receiving crowd I've ever seen. Don't you agree with that?
I agree.
Man, I mean, every place you go. Okay, so you're a coach, you're an instructor, you're my coach.
That's correct.
And you're my wife's coach, which she loves you. And my wife, who isn't competitive, and if you're not competitive and you think this sport's not for you, you're missing out. It is a great way to just compete in a really fun way and just get active. You've been very integral in helping my wife love the sport, be better at it, be competitive at it. She gets so much value out of that. Thank you for doing that.
You bet.
What other credentials maybe did I miss?
Well, so I've been playing for about 8 years, and actually I saw pickleball, the increase in pickleball really happened through COVID because the parks were open. So that is when those of us who were playing before COVID, because pickleball has been around since 1965. Wow. Okay, so people are like, it just was invented. That's not true. But those of us who were playing before COVID, during COVID, we got to go to the park still because they were open. And that's when we really saw the increase of people to the game. Yeah. That's when people started noticing it. That's when you had professional athletes starting building pickleball courts in their backyard, like Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona. He did that. So it was talked about more. And that was when the influx really came. When I talked to most of my members at Lifetime, they're like, yeah, I started playing during COVID. So that was one of the pluses that came out at a very tragic and hard time in our country was pickleball.
8 years ago, which will surprise people. It kind of surprised me, and it's an encouragement. If you have ever done much research on leadership, I teach leadership, I speak leadership, I have a podcast coming up on leadership, but I know, if you don't know, that KFC, Colonel Sanders, he didn't start his first KFC till he was 62 years old, I think. Did you know that? Now, I don't know your age, and I'm not asking you to say, but if you only started 8 years ago and you went from zero to hero, that seems to be an encouragement. People are out there going, man, I can't be good at something. Golf, I've been playing competitive golf since I was in junior high. And to get good at golf, it takes years. But you went from kind of zero. I'm not saying zero. I bet you were probably an athlete of sorts. Did you play tennis or other things?
I never played tennis. And I don't think you have to play tennis to play pickleball. There are some things from tennis that translates to pickleball. There are some things that don't. Pickleball, I would say, is more custom or more like if you were playing ping pong standing on the ping pong table. That is more like pickleball.
Got it.
Where the contact point's out in front of you. Pickleball court, you can fit 4 pickleball courts in one tennis court. So it gives you an idea of the size of the courts, 44 feet long, 20 feet wide. So that's why it's also easier for people to play because the courts are smaller. And you play with the paddle, play with wiffle ball, basically. So it's easier to hit. You don't have a huge swing, more compact. It's just easier, I think, than tennis. But I didn't play tennis. I played ping pong. I played racquetball back in the day. I was an athlete my whole life. I found pickleball when I retired from a 30-year career in law enforcement. So I moved to Arizona. What am I going to do? Heard about this crazy sport. I'm like, what is this pickleball thing? Most people I bring to the game just one time, even if they're hesitant, they fall in love with the sport. And before you know it, they go down the rabbit hole of all things pickleball. So it happens to everybody.
Well, that's a good hole to go down. We talk at the health cast here that we're chasing the wrong rabbits down the wrong hole in reference to we're chasing drugs and pharmaceuticals to fix diseases. But in this way, this is a good rabbit hole to go down.
100%.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Well, if you would maybe out of that, before I move on to my rapid fire questions, which is just part of our health cast if you have a guest.
Bring it on.
But if you would encourage others who are sitting and listening to this, maybe I'm too old, maybe it's too long, maybe, I suck at it, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to be beat all the time. But they can go from a pretty lower level and get good enough to really have fun and compete at all kinds of levels.
Keep in mind, too, that there's different types of pickleball players. There's what I call social players.
Yep.
Who just want to go out to the parks with their kids or their friends and just have fun. They don't really care what the score is.
Yep.
Want to hit the ball around. Then there's rec players, which is what I have at Lifetime Gilbert, where I work as the pickleball lead and the head pro there. Rec players are more competitive. They want to win, but they're not tournament players.
Yeah.
Then you have tournament players, which is a whole another level, which takes training, takes practice to actually go compete at your rating.
But you went from kind of zero to that level in how many years?
I was competing in tournaments after the first year.
Wow. Of course, we're hoping you will just be active, and you can be active in simple formats of just taking your family out to the park. And most parks now are building pickleball courts, lots of them.
Arizona is one of the leading states in pickleball courts. Arizona, Florida, and California have the most, and there are pickleball courts popping up everywhere in Arizona. Yeah.
And it's free. I mean, you buy a paddle, you don't even have to get it. I mean, it's, of course, the better the paddle, the better the player, but you can just start a simple paddle, get out there, start having fun going.
After an injury, it can feel like life's on hold, but at AFC, we're here to help you get back to what matters. With personalized injury plans and our expert staff, we don't just treat the pain, we guide you back to strength and confidence. Because getting back isn't just about healing, it's about thriving. Call us or visit our website to start your journey today.
Pickleball pros are real people, like doctors are real people. I'm going to give her some questions. Let's see what she has to teach us and what we can learn about her personally. You ready?
Bring it on.
All right, first simple one is, where did you come from?
California.
California. Is that where you were law enforcement?
Yes.
I bet there's some stories there. We could do a podcast on just on that.
30 years of crazy.
30 years. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite sport to watch?
Pickleball.
Oh, it is. See, that people wouldn't think that. How many times a week do you play pickleball? Because I've heard if you're a golf pro, you really don't get to play much.
Yeah.
Have you found, do you get to play much?
That's a tough one because I'm on the court teaching every day and I do pop into games, but I don't get to play at my level very often.
So what do you think? Once a week even?
Maybe that.
Ouch.
Depends. And if I'm in tournament season, then it's more training to get ready for tournaments.
Okay. All right. Classic one. Are you a slammer or a short game expert?
I have both.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more of a soft hands player, but I have power as well.
Okay.
I think you have to have both to elevate your skills in the game.
If someone was starting off, which a lot of people are, where would you say they should start? Learning how to hit it hard or hit it soft?
I would say just hitting it, feeling the touch of their paddle, getting used to how hard or how soft they have to hit their paddle. But they need to work on both from the beginning. Otherwise, you habituate really bad habits.
Yeah.
And you come to me after just being able to hit the ball hard and you have no soft game. So you got to do both.
Do both.
I would say this, a pickleball game is meant to go beyond the first 4 shots.
Yeah.
And normally with bangers, 4 shots, the point's over.
Area of the game you need to improve yourself.
Attacking more at the net
Versus just defending.
defending. Yeah. Be more offensive at the net with the right opportunity than defending.
A lot of people get afraid at the net. That ball looks like it's coming hard and fast at them, but it's a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
If you get hit at it, it really didn't hurt that much.
No.
What's the most common question asked of you as a pickleball coach or instructor?
How do I hold my paddle?
Okay. Here's my favorite question of all time for everybody. What's your superpower?
I'd be curious to see what you think too.
I'll give you mine after you tell
I
me.
would say I have the ability to see multiple things at once. So I have the ability to watch you, not only, especially when I'm playing, to not only see the person hitting the ball, but to see what the other person's doing, to see where my partner's at. So I have the ability of taking it all in and identifying what just happened.
Yeah. Now, don't you think that applies in your life though, too?
100%.
100%.
Trained observer. So that's crosses over from being in law enforcement to pickleball, definitely.
Yeah. And let me tell you, if you're listening, why that's my favorite question, because I want you to ask it to yourself, because often you guys, we have a tendency to self-talk in a negative way. And you need to know that you have some amazing superpowers, some that are really obvious to people around you and some that aren't so obvious. So if you're curious, ask somebody. They'll tell you one of your superpowers if it's not the number one. Here's what mine for you.
Lay it on me.
And I've already kind of given it to you. Is like, you are one of the most approachable, kindest, nice people that can just be confrontational in a really good way, though, which means, you're not in my grill, but you're able to tell me things, especially as a coach. And I bet you can in life, and you can do it with kindness and clarity and not make people feel bad. You just have a way about you. It's definitely a superpower.
Well,
You're easy. You're fun to hang out with. And thanks for hanging out with me today.
Thank you for that.
Why do they call it pickleball? There is a reason and an origin of it.
There's actually 2 stories.
Yes, there is. I got them both. I wonder if you got them both.
Okay. So the first story is that their dog was named Pickle. And Pickle kept stealing the ball. Bainbridge Island off the coast of Seattle. The other story is one of the wives used to row in the Sound. And when you row, the utility boat's called the pickle boat. So that's how they came up. But they named it in 1965. And the fact is, a lot of the same rules they created. They created the kitchen. They created the size of the court. They're still in existence today. The same rules.
Wow.
We've just kind of expanded on them. But all of it came from 1965. And you can still go to the house.
Oh, really?
Where it was.
They got a court back there?
They do. They still have it set up on the driveway. You can
it's
go
on the
and play.
driveway.
That's where they set it up.
Angled probably, or cracks in the middle of it. All kinds of stuff.
It was a badminton net
Okay.
to start with. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to unplugging people from reasons, because a lot of people don't enter sports, don't enter activities, don't do things for fear. But what do you think the number one myth or reason people maybe don't want to play pickleball or don't like pickleball or don't think pickleball is worthy of their time?
What I hear the most is afraid of injury.
Afraid of injury. I hear that a lot as well. But I'm curious what you see. What are the most common injuries people are doing?
It's probably tennis elbow, what they call tennis elbow, popping a calf, Achilles tendon.
Yep.
Are probably the most common. I mean, you can't just get off the couch and go full throttle on a pickleball court. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You have to dynamically stretch. You have to warm up your body. You that's the one thing that I love most about Lifetime and why I decided to go there and to start the program there is the holistic approach, right? Even my pickleballers, I want to do dynamic stretching. I want to do strength training. I want to do agility. It's the holistic approach to taking care of your body.
Yeah.
So if you step on a pickleball court with no dynamic warm up, which is like high knees and, shuffle steps and grapevines and warming your legs up, especially your Achilles, your calves, your knees, then yeah, you're going to pop a calf.
Yeah.
So it has to go hand in hand. You can't just take your paddle out of your bag. I've seen it so many times, and they do a couple arm stretches, and they're like, okay, let's play.
Let's go.
That's it. Well, come on.
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt if that's what you do.
If we got 36 million people playing pickleball, and if we actually really look at the amount of injuries out of 36 million, I think we find it's very tiny. We know one of the concepts of the Unplugged Healthcast is a guarantee to become sick is to do nothing. If you just sit around at home and do not exercise at all, I guarantee you're going to get arthritis. It is the actual recipe for arthritis. Is sit around, do nothing, let your joints just get stiff and sore. They don't get circulation. Remember the fact I give you, the anatomical if you're not moving your joints, they're going to deteriorate. So get out. Let's get going. But let's talk about some of these things you said. I had a good buddy of mine who just won't let me live this down to the day. We got him out to play pickleball, and he's a really high level golfer.
Okay.
We him and his wife and me and my wife, and we just started playing. And then some other people showed up, and then all of a sudden some games broke out, right?
Okay.
And we played, but he's athletic, but we played 3 or 4 games, and he was having a ball like everybody does. Right. And we're like, hey, I'm going to use his name. I will. Mark, you got to take, no, I'm good. Let's play one more.
Oh, no.
No. Okay, 5. I'm good. Let's play one more. Mark, 6, 7 games.
Okay.
And of course, on the 7th game,
popped a calf.
Popped the Achilles tendon. He was out of competitive golf, which killed him.
Right.
He had tournaments for almost a year.
Wow.
So he won't come back. I can't get him back, of course, on the pickleball court. So we got to make sure people don't do that. And if they do that, can we get them back out? Let's start about what are these exercises? Because you say those things like dynamic, and people are out there going, dynamic for me is sometimes just getting up and down from the couch sometimes. What is dynamic?
Well, when I talk about dynamic stretching, there's dynamic stretching conversely to static stretching. Static stretching is when you do slow stretches, 60 seconds, on one muscle group. Dynamic stretching is when I talk about doing high knees, you mentioned getting up and off the couch. Well, doing air squats is a dynamic stretch. Yeah. Doing calf raises is a dynamic stretch. Swinging your legs back and forth in front of you, doing shuffle steps, just shuffling side to side. That's what I mean about dynamic warm-ups. Doing arm circles, doing trunk twists. That's how you need to warm up before you play pickleball. You can do the static stretching after.
Yeah.
But before, you need to get those muscles warmed up in a movement manner.
So it's better to really be just actively moving in certain patterns like you're talking about, which I'm sure they can find online. Are there resources you could send them to?
100%. I mean, you can go on YouTube and look for a pickleball. I mean, they have pickleball everything on YouTube. You can look for a pickleball warm-up, pre-warm-ups.
Simple. And it doesn't take hours.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. But what most people do is what we were taught to do back in grade school. Touch your toes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They really don't get you ready for pickleball, right?
No. It's a moving side to side. And the worst thing you could do is just go to a court with no warm up and just start hitting the ball because you're naturally going to move to the ball.
Yeah.
And
fast.
It's just going to happen. And that's when people pull a muscle or they get hurt.
Got it.
The other part of that too is when you start playing is to listen to your body because there's a lot of repetitive movements in pickleball. That's why a lot of people get tennis elbow. It's really common because of using your backhand so much. So you have to listen to your body. And when your body says it's tired or something hurts, you need to rest. But again, people go down that rabbit hole. Pickleball, the OMG for pickleball is one more game.
Yes.
That's what it means, right?
Yes.
So they're like, one more game, one more game. No, I'm okay, one more game. And that's when that one more game is when something snaps or pops because they don't listen to their body.
Well, here's a couple myths. It's only a sport for old people. Where did that come from? And sometimes I think it was kind of true for many years.
Right.
Why was it true and why is it not true now?
Well, I think it used to be known as the geriatric sport. And it just has transformed. And really, again, through COVID, the last 5-6 years, the amount of youth and that it's brought to the game has really transformed the game. I would say the game in that regard is faster. Maybe the game was slower before, but there are speed ups and it gets faster now. The style of play has changed.
Pain holding you back? AFC Physical Medicine and Chiropractic Centers of Phoenix have real solutions to get your life back. With 9 valley-wide locations, we offer integrated care including chiropractic, medical, and nutritional support. Our approach goes beyond prescriptions, combining therapies to help you thrive. Don't let pain define your story. Take the first step towards living life to its fullest. Call us now at 480-210-6103 or visit afcchiropractic.com to schedule your appointment.
So for the younger people listening, this is a sport for youth.
Oh, youth is the future of our sports. Yeah. There are scholarships now. There's collegiate scholarships for pickleball. ASU has a club team.
Really?
They're building a pickleball facility. I mean, it's crazy.
You think it's going to be an Olympic sport at some point?
I heard we didn't make it this time, but the next one, yes.
Yeah.
I heard it will be an Olympic sport.
So it's faster, it's quicker. Does that mean the older folks should stay out?
No, because it's a smaller court. So now, let me tell you something. I played with people. You cannot judge a book by its cover when it comes to pickleball.
I've done that too many times. And
I've played with people who literally limped to the court. And I thought, oh, I got this one in the bag, right? And they had such an incredible serve, or they could control the ball. They didn't have to move. So literally, it's not a reason to not get out and try it. Definitely.
It truly is the sport that levels all playing fields. And so my point and hope that you heard her say is that this isn't a geriatric sport. Although if you're older, get out there at any age. I have seen and I have been beaten by 90-year-old men. I've been beaten by a gentleman who had a variation of cerebral palsy.
Yep.
I just got my hind end handed to me last week with a guy who had literally one arm, and had a congenital defect in his other hand. And this guy was unbelievable. I'm telling you, it levels of age, size, gender, weight.
The other super cool thing about pickleball that I love is you can play it with anybody. You know, my last tournament I ran at Lifetime, my mixed doubles competition, I had 4 married couples, husband and wife, playing. I had a sister and brother, and I had a father and daughter.
Isn't that awesome?
What other sport do you find that in?
None.
And they stayed married.
That's awesome.
Right? It
socially crosses the barriers, brings people together. I love it. I think that's why the cities are investing in it, because they're seeing it's pulling communities together. Out to just Gilbert Regional where I play. I mean, we have got Pakistani, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, American, white, black, yellow. I mean, it is just fun, and everybody's just loving on each other, having fun. By the way, if you want to ask questions, if you want to learn, as we bring guests, we've got a naturopath coming in here, one of our upcoming podcasts, talking about statins and cholesterol issues. We've got a high-level provider on disc injuries. If you want to call in, if you want to ask questions, click the link, and you can just send us a question. You can text it through the link. You can leave a voicemail, which I would appreciate. We love hearing real people. But we had a lot of people that want questions answered. And so let's see how many we can answer in the time we have left. John out of Phoenix says, I have strained and partially tore my Achilles tendon playing pickleball. Well, we already kind of talked about that, Rabbit, didn't we? I'm afraid to get back on the court. Is there anything I can do? Should I just switch to shuffleboard?
I would say, John, It's up to you, really. But it's up to you how much you love the sport. I would encourage you to take your time coming back. I can speak to personal experience on this. I shredded my Achilles tendon in an actual tournament in 22. I was actually on the court in a medal round, shredded my Achilles tendon, managed to hobble my way through the match.
You fit it one more game?
Finished the match. They obviously picked on my partner, but I didn't, I would have done the same thing. It was for a golden ticket to go to nationals. And did my playing season, had to have reconstructive surgery, went to rehab, and look, I'm back on the court 100%. So 100%. It depends how much you love it, John. If you loved it, then just do your physical, your PT, be smart, do your calf raises. I continually have to stretch my Achilles before and after I play, take care of it. But I'm back playing 100%.
I have been told, and someone told my wife early on, is that one of the more common ways people do that or get hurt is they're chasing balls that go over their head. Any advice?
This is one of my biggest thing with my members, okay? And I go over this over and over again on a daily basis when I see it happen. When a ball goes over your head, you cannot backpedal.
That's what they said. You're right.
It is the backpedaling that where you trip and fall. And yes, it happens. And yes, you can break your wrists backpedaling. So you don't backpedal and you turn, what I call open the gate. You turn your whole body and take a step and run back to the ball without backpedaling, if that makes sense.
100%.
So that is something that can be taught, can be learned, the proper way to get a ball over your head.
Actually, that was, as my research before our show today, the number one injury in pickleball is actually fracturing wrist. Backpedaling, tripping, and then they reach their arm back and try to stop and they break their wrist.
Yes.
So,
and
number one rule, if you learn anything today from our healthcast,
don't backpedal.
Don't shuffle backwards. Just either let it go, which you shouldn't, get better, but turn around, run, see if you can get where you could hit it between your legs.
Sure, why not?
Sure.
Trick shot.
Trick shot. I see that. I watched that on YouTube.
Of course.
We're going to finish today with the top 5 things you should do, you can do, you need to do to not only improve your health, but improve your ability to play pickleball for a lifetime, to be active for a lifetime, to be vital, vibrant, because life is too short to be sitting on the couch and to be in pain. So here we go. Counting down the top 5 ways for you to get better in your pickleball game. Number 5, and it is in a particular order, number 5 is diet matters. This is crazy. If you think you can eat, and I joke, but it's not a joke, that if you were a farmer and you wanted to grow healthy crops, it's food, water, and sunlight, right? It's not Diet Coke, ibuprofen, Taco Bell, Prilosec, oxycodone. That kills ferns. That kills healthy plants. Diet matters. What you put into your body is what comes out. You can build your house with sticks and muds or brick and mortar. So here's some simple things. Good carbohydrates, which are fresh fruits and vegetables that are grown, not canned maybe. Essential fatty acids. Those are vital for neurologic tissue and hormones, which keep your body full of energy and functioning correctly. And protein. As you get older, if you're over the age of 40 or 50, you need 80 grams of protein.
And I've heard at Lifetime, we pretty much do a gram per pound of weight.
There you go. I love that.
So whatever you weigh, you need that many grams.
Ooh, you got that one right there. Was worth it. So diet matters. Number 5. Number 4, dehydration. If you just would be hydrated, see your muscles, your disc in your spine are full of fluid. And if you are dehydrated, it's one of the first places your body will go to get fluid. It will go to your muscles, your disc. If you get a headache because you're dehydrated, that's the last ditch effort. That is last resort where your body is trying to get fluid out of it, pull it out of the cerebral spinal fluid, and you get a headache. If you're waiting to get headaches to determine if you need fluids, you are way behind the 8 ball.
Well, hydration is really important, especially, when you're playing pickleball, to get your electrolytes, to have some sort of electrolytes in your water, to take water breaks.
Number 3, listen to your body. Stop taking the painkiller. Stop going to the pickleball court with 6 ibuprofen. I'm telling you, if your red oil light is on, you would never spray paint it with black spray paint, would you? That makes no sense. But we just show up to the court with aches and pains, get some care, find a provider. So last one, and the most important, is get a lesson from a professional pickleball certified, not the backyard.
Don't listen to the rec coaches on
my
the
buddy
courts.
John, he's helpful. I love him, but he probably isn't helping me that much.
Probably not. And then you're going to get a lot of bad habits that you can't break.
Yeah. So if they would like to get you as their coach, I don't think they can, because I can barely get you as my coach at times. Are you taking on people to be coached?
Sure. So Lifetime Gilbert, just call, talk to me, ask for the pickleball desk, come in and see me and have a lesson. You don't have to be a member to play in my leagues. You can get a guest pass and come in and play open play. You can do, if you get a guest pass at Lifetime, you can do anything a regular member does.
Wow. And there's a lot if you haven't been there. It's a cool place. I love it. Hot tub, is a steam room. That's my combination.
Getting a cold plunge too.
Really?
Maybe.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. Top 5 reasons you got to get out. You got to get active. You need to get unplugged. A lot of you have been sucked in by big pharma that somehow you can just keep living the same life and getting a better result. And you know, and I know that's insanity. The one thing you can't do is do the same thing or do nothing. So we're encouraging you to unplug. This podcast exists so you can actually hear different concepts, different ideas, natural thoughts, clear, common sense. There's confusion out there, but if you plug in, if you subscribe, if you come and check us out every week, we're going to bring you more clarity, more answers, great guests, great answers for you to live a life of health and vitality. So this is Dr. Wall signing off, and
Lacey. And hey, can I just end with one thing?
Please do.
So you guys, your age, it's just a number. I'm here to tell you, I'm 62 years old.
Ooh, you're willing to disclose.
I'm not going to stop anytime soon. I refuse to stop.
That's great. All right. Well, there you go. You heard it from her. You heard it from me. We'll say it again next time. So this is Dr. Wall, and I will see you next time on the Unplugged Healthcast. Be blessed, be safe, be healthy.
Man, this is fun. They weren't lying, dude. I really enjoy this. Move up to the kitchen line, Donna.
Oh, man. I love this guy. That is so classic. I love pickleball. And if you love pickleball, you have seen this guy come to the court. You may have been this guy at the court, and it is very dangerous. Pickleball has been said to be the most dangerous sport, and I can tell you, if you show up cold, if you show up just without any idea and you just start playing pickleball, there's a good chance you'll get injured.
I enjoyed the whole process. It didn't go the way I wanted, but I was still happy that I went all the 5 rounds. So I'm feeling amazing. I'm just so happy to be here.
Wow. You got to love that girl's attitude. We all need to adopt that thought process because, man, life can sometimes beat you up. Pickleball can beat you up, but, man, life really can beat you up sometimes. Thanks for joining us.